Macmillan Audio presents The Calling. 3 fundamental shifts to stay true, get paid, and do good. By Rha Goddess. Read for you by the author. Foreword read by Gabrielle Bernstein. For you, Daddy. May I always make you proud. A word about the stories in this book. Some of the stories in this book describe the life circumstances and experiences of individuals I have worked with, who have chosen to be identified by their real name. Some stories are inspired by the circumstances and experiences of individuals who choose not to be identified. I have changed identifying details and events and given them fictitious names. Finally, some of the stories in this book are composite accounts based on the circumstances and experiences of a number of individuals who had similar challenges. For these composites, any resemblance to any real person or persons with similar names and/or circumstances is purely coincidental and unintentional.
Forward. I believe that God works through people. I believe that we're guided to the people who will support us in our development, and we're guided to them exactly when we need their help. This has happened many times in my own life, but one in particular stands out. That's the story of how I met Rha Goddess. In 2008, I was struggling big time with codependence. I'd been in an unfulfilling relationship, jumping through hoops for my boyfriend's attention. I was terrified of losing him and of being alone. Finally, I hit bottom. I was desperate for relief, so I stopped pouring all my effort into making him interested in me. Instead, I started praying. The more I asked for guidance, the more I received. I was led to many helpful resources, from books and meditations to a group for women healing codependent patterns. I began experiencing a lot of beautiful synchronicities that blew me away. One day, my neighbor suggested I set up a business meeting with a woman named Rha Goddess, who, like me, worked to empower young women. A week later, another friend independently suggested I meet Rha Goddess. I accepted the universal memo and emailed Rha to schedule a meeting. She responded to my email by saying that she couldn't meet right away because she was going to a spiritual retreat. I was shocked because it turned out I was going to the same retreat. I flipped out over the synchronicity, but it didn't seem to faze her. We didn't end up meeting at the retreat, but on my flight home, I connected with a woman sitting next to me on the plane. I told her about my work and that I lived in New York City. She said, "You must meet this woman." And then she handed me Rha Goddess's business card. I laughed as the universe hit me over the head yet again. The next week, I traveled to New Orleans for an event for Eve Ensler's V-Day, a global movement to stop violence against women and girls. When I got there, I looked over the lineup for the first day. Following talks by Rosario Dawson and Jane Fonda was a performance by, guess who? Rha Goddess. Clearly, I needed to meet this woman. The guidance was so apparent that I felt overwhelmed with joy. Finally, we met. I was moved by her powerful energy and her loving presence. After her performance, we gave each other a big hug and laughed about how a higher power than ourselves was working hard to get us together. We agreed to set up our long-awaited meeting later that month. The day when I was set to meet Rha for a dinner meeting in Brooklyn was dark and rainy. The gloomy weather mirrored my state of mind. I was tripped up about my romantic relationship again, experiencing a lot of fear around being alone and feeling like I wasn't good enough. But I wasn't about to miss my dinner with the woman the universe so clearly wanted me to know, so I pulled myself together and went to Brooklyn. Even though we'd set up the meeting to discuss business, Rha and I began talking about our personal lives from the moment we sat down. She told me about her spiritual beliefs and her coaching practice. She also told me about her magnificent husband and how she had manifested the relationship. She explained how she'd gotten over her negative relationship patterns and become clear about what she wanted in order to free up space to call in her.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?